Gray filled the end.
Welcome back to Pole Politicking. Make sure you check me out on Facebook, YouTube, subscribe or like, however way you watching this video. I'm chilling with my homie Defiance. How you doing, bro?
Oh man, I'm doing good. I'm doing real good, brother. It's always good to be able to get the opportunity, especially to hop on pole politicking to get on that platform.
All right, thank you, man. So the first thing I want you to talk about some of your daily habits and rituals.
My daily habits and rituals. Shoot. Besides just doing the grind and um, trying to work as your own boss and entrepreneur. Also, I'm a stay at home father. Proud of that. So usually I'm getting up with my kids, lacing them up with a little bit of motivation to get their day started. Jumping into that, getting them some good meals to get their body started and get their mind right. Get them into school. Soon after that, my daily routine consists of jumping on this computer and getting on the phone, hollering at some people, trying to make some power moves, and constantly doing what everybody does, trying to make a way for themselves. So and try to get my workout in, and all that. So it's really staying continuous with this. And disciplined with a repetition of things. You want to keep trying to get a little solid plan going and stick with it. So that's what I try to do on a day in, day out basis.
Okay. And then you was talking about, you said you're an entrepreneur. So can you talk about your background and how long you've been in entrepreneurship and how you got started in it?
Um, man, well, I run a media company called Imperial Hustle. So ImperialHustle.com publishes different magazines, stuff for urban models, for independent musicians, for upcoming musicians, and we also do a lot of promoting on our website itself to be able to help people get more exposure and to draw more attention to some of the artists that don't usually get seen by some of the bigger media platforms. So that's something that we try to put into place, and I try to put a lot of information out there that maybe isn't so privy to everyone that maybe not just in the urban field, but just people in general that are looking for a different way that things might take place, people that want to seek outside of the box answers. We try to provide those. How I got started in that is I've always felt like I wanted to kind of work on my own. I really wasn't so good with being able to sit up under somebody and listen to, somebody tell me to go do this, tell me go do that. I did a lot of it, and I did a lot of, the grind, the 9 to 5, and I did a lot of outside hustle. But coming into my way as a music artist myself when I was younger, I think you start learning a little bit of entrepreneurship in that level when you're trying to be your own artist and make your own way. You start trying to find out how to make your own income, how to develop your own product, how to sell your own product, how to go ahead and reach people, how to find an audience. So those types of things start to follow into entrepreneurship, and a lot of people don't notice and correlate that with each other. So I think I saw what I was already doing from back in the day, and that easily transferred into me being able to want to work on my own because I saw that I can do it. And I grew up in a household of entrepreneurs. Both my parents were entrepreneurs, and they ran their own business for as long as I could remember. So that's kind of all I really knew. And it's kind of got the ball rolling to where I am now.
What's up? Because I was actually about to ask you who some of your influences, but you kind of answered that question already.
Right.
And also, I know you came out, so you're an entrepreneur, but you also came out with an album, right? A mixtape.
Yeah, I did. I had done a little mixtape. I don't coin myself really as a rapper anymore. I don't put myself out to do it anymore because I got so many different outlets that I'm working on at the time. But it still came from the essence and the element of it was all hip hop. That's how I started, and I wanted to be able to put something together that kind of emulated that. And I had done a performance with my man's over at the West Coast Unity Night, and I really tore it down there, and people really liked the delivery and the projection of what I was doing and some of my flow. So I decided to go ahead and put together a little mixtape for a lot of people that were actually asking to hear something from me because they were saying, "Hey, where can we find your stuff?" I'm like, I just kind of did this as a little feature. I don't really spit no more. And they said, "Man, you should put something out. You should put something out, man." So that got me thinking, and then I worked on it, and then I came out with a mixtape last month called "Paid to Be Free." So in about a month and a half, yeah. So that one's on SoundCloud and on DatPiff. It's a free download. Everybody could go ahead and peep it and, be able to rock with it and see what I do.
And then you were talking about all the outlets you got. So what are all the things you're working on right now?
Right now, the some of the stuff I have, of course, the publication that we do, and now that's on a little hiatus where you can, see it for yourself. This is IHE magazine. This was an issue that we actually went ahead and covered. My man Emerson Wendy, real good dude, real good dude. You know, and we worked real tough with him on being able to cover some of the stuff that he was putting out on his album Marijuana, which was he did a whole theme Black America and expressing a lot of the injustices. So we went into dive into that. And some of the other projects outside of the IHE magazine is like another publication that we're actually coming out with, and it's going to be really touching for the cannabis industry, and then also intertwining that with the medicinal industry, where it's alternative medicine and a little bit of the dispensaries, cannabis, and that type of thing. And we're looking to really go ahead and touch on some huge I guess, topics that are overlooked and being able to dive right into that instead of trying to put out another stoner magazine or something like that. We want to educate people on all the different things that actually can be done with this plant, and then also the things that surround alternative medicine that's not even having to do with cannabis, but that can help people on that level. Um, Other than that, I have the book that I'm going to be releasing. Hopefully, I can get that out by 2017. It's been a long waiting book that got together. So it's right here. This is Decoding the Corporate Game. So I got Guide to Marketing and Business Psychology. And the book, that really is my whole experience of working in the corporate world and how I was able to interpret it, climbing that ladder at the time, and what I was able to pull from it, and how I took those skills that I learned within business from working up under people, and I applied that to be able to work for myself because I found myself working in several different areas of business. From I've done everything from the warehousing to the marketing to the sales to accounting to being in programming to being in graphic design, like in many different aspects of business. I think the only thing I've never been in is human relations. So I take that, and then I created more of a 360 degree of how I saw it, and then how you can go ahead and apply those things to yourself. And then I take it a step further in being able to explain to people a lot of things that dive deep into human psychology and how I interpreted that. And it's more of a self-help book, like motivational, for people to understand how things that they do on a daily basis might affect them negatively without them even realizing it, and how that limits areas of you being able to be your entrepreneur or even live up to your fullest potential. So that's kind of what I have wrapped into it. It has a lot of good game, and it hits on so many different topics that it's just like it's just something you got to dive into.
Yeah, I'm saying, can you give us an example of that? Like what you were just talking about? Like how the things you can do could affect you in the future?
Um, like I have an area in the book that's called Murder by Consumption, and it goes into detailing different things that we even digest and what we eat and how that plays an effect in the way that we think. And a lot of people don't understand that some of the foods that you take in, and if they're processed foods and they're synthetic foods, and how that plays away in your thought, because the foods that you digest, it sits right there in your intestines. And the thing that's connected to the back of your intestines is your spinal cord, your spleen. Your spleen is like the super highway that goes down to your lower cerebellum of your brain. That cerebellum goes ahead and it digests those foods, breaks down those compounds, and that goes into your neurotransistors within your brain. That affects how you think, because that food is energy that's being applied to the mind. But if it's synthetic, if it's processed, and you're getting a lot of junk, then what kind of things are you feeding right back into the brain? So I'm breaking that down and letting people know that even down to what we're eating every day is affecting us on the way that we think. We're not having the same level of clarity. We're not able to see things for what it is, and that affects the decisions that we make, and that also affects the motivation that we have and the drive that we have to go ahead and do what we want. So that's just one example of the types of things that you're going to get out of there. And like I said, the game gets real deep. I don't get too surfacey. I dive right in with a lot of things. So each chapter has something core in it. Yeah, the marketing part for it is just that's just something somebody could take from it. It's cool, but the real bread and butter is going to be getting that psychology from it.
Yeah, I would say a lot of people think though they think it's expensive to eat healthy though. Would you say that's a myth or
I think it's more expensive getting sick.
huh? So what are some? I guess what are some places you go grocery shopping?
Um, I try to go ahead and get up into Sprouts if
Mm-hmm.
I can. That's that's pretty good for what you can get, but nothing's going to get better than growing your own food. I mean, uh, a man's real wealth is his health. So when you're able to have your own supply of food, you know, it doesn't matter how much money you really have, because shit, that money can't keep you alive if you can't eat great. So, being able to have that abundance, that'd be great. But I try to hit up, the Sprouts, but really being able to go to the farmer's market, that's like the best way you'd be able to get that locally grown food. You're able to go ahead and support local farmers. You're able to support local businesses, and you know that the food is grown locally, where you're not getting it shipped from like Chile or something like that. And you don't know what kind of contamination happens in the process of them going ahead and transferring the foods. But here, at least you know that it's from the local soil, so it makes a lot more sense. And then also, we're also indigenous to the foods that grow within our area. Everybody has different digestive systems. Like if you go to Mexico, you try to drink the water, it's going to fuck you up. Them out there, their stomach lining's a little bit more tolerant of it, you know? So different geographics have different foods that they need.
So what are some of your interests and hobbies?
Um, you know, shoot, grinding, grinding, trying to get this, man. I mean, yeah, music was definitely something I've always stayed into, staying in shape, working out. That's definitely something that I'm into. Sitting back and being able to watch a cool little movie, catch a couple shows, flicks on my downtime. I'm a little bit of a Netflix buff when I can. I mean, me and my girl, we do the Netflix and chill. So it's that's really it. But most of the time, it's like keeping my mind focused and really trying to keep this grind going, try and get this paper, man, because it's not trying to slow up for nobody.
And I would say, so who would you say your brand is developed for? What type of person?
Um, that's a really good question. My brand has been developed really for I guess anybody that's seeking higher education, anybody that wants to seek that inner drive, inner potential, it's really open for anybody. I've tried to bring it down to touch a level that people that are in that urban space and enjoy, that urban lifestyle, whether it's, black, Latinos, white, African, it doesn't matter. But if they can go ahead and really understand the dialect, the lingo, and that lifestyle and culture of hip hop, I wanted to go ahead and present it through that because that's where I was coming from, that space when I first entered into starting my business. But really, at the end of the day, anyone that's trying to seek something more, that's what we try to create. Everything we do is about, at the end of the day, education, about trying to go ahead and reach people, educate people, and teach them something, and also learn from how people react to the things that we put out there or some of the feedback. So, that's what I try to center what I do around that.
And what advice would you give to any entrepreneur out here?
Man, stay disciplined and work hard. Don't lose your focus. They say if you know if you don't lose your focus and you find something that you love to do, you'll never work a day in your life. You know what I mean? And so it's important to go ahead and do that. I try to go ahead and make sure that I get something so I have enough that I own so that one day I can pass that on. Working at a job, I can't pass that on to anybody. I can't give that job to my kids. I don't own it. So it's important, that you own something. Like they said, life, liberty, and property. You want to have property. You want to have a business. You want to have these things. And so, entrepreneurs need to have that drive in order to obtain it. So, just keep a drive and seek something that you feel is purpose, and real purposeful. I guess what was the saying? If you ain't making money while you sleep, you're gonna work till you die. So you know what I mean. That's what I'm trying to do right now.
And what would you like to say to all your supporters, people who have been rocking with you so far?
Man, shoot, look, I'm just a dude putting, my pants on one leg at a time. Anything I'm doing, you can do. And, I thank you for following me. And, where I'm going to be impressed is seeing what y'all do with what you dream and what your aspirations are. What do you aspire to? So anybody that's been rocking with me and following me, I want to eventually rock with you and follow what you do too. Because it goes hand in hand. Let the right hand wash the left. So, I definitely think that, it's in unison that everybody, comes into my circle for a reason. I want to rock with their circle the same way.
All right, man. I want to say thank you for coming through Politic with me.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Yeah, we want to tell them how to hit you up, like your websites and everything.
Yeah, go ahead and you can get at me at imperialhustle.com. You can go ahead and email me any questions anytime. Defiance at imperialhustle.com. That's, I answer emails as quick as possible. Anybody that, has any interest in whether it's a magazine or you're interested in doing a project, and look out, we're coming out with our new magazine, Re-Up Magazine, and that's going to go ahead and also have the late, great, legendary healer, Dr. Sabi, on the front cover. And y'all look out for that. We're going to have a very interesting story with them. So anybody wants more information about that, just feel free, hit me up. Defiance, Defiance, at imperialhustle.com.
Make sure you hit me up, pole politic and everything. I'll holla.
Till the end.